Over the past 7 months, a new face has taken the Smash world by storm. Akola, forged in the fires of the Japanese Smash Online scene, sprung into the scene in May of 2021 and has been the topic of discussion ever since. While the character he mainly pilots, Steve, has a bit of a problematic reputation in the community, Akola takes him to heights almost no other has. As the year approaches its end, Akola will likely cement himself as number 2 in the world, with tournament statistics only a select few can rival. In September, Akola joined Zeta Division, forming Japan's newest Smash Ultimate Super Team along with T and Gact. Today, we're going to dive into how Zeta Division has swiftly risen to become one of Smash's strongest organizations, and how they made the perfect picks to compete in today's Ultimate landscape. Next to Akola, T can be called a veteran at this point. A Pac-Man main ever since Smash 4, he rode the momentum he gained at the tail end of that game's lifespan to catapult himself into overseas popularity. Helped by the character's vast improvement in between games, going from being ranked 46th out of 55th on Smash 4's final community tier list to being universally considered among the top tiers in Smash Ultimate, T played himself into the hearts and minds of the general Smash audience, even gaining a new weapon recently, Kazuya Mishima. The most experienced out of the three, Gact has documented tournament results dating all the way back to 2013. He had a solid career all throughout Smash 4's lifespan, and his results have only improved ever since. He regularly finishes in top 8 nowadays, with his highlight placement being 3rd at Japan Super Major Kagaribi 7. But most impressively, he does all of this while being a certified content creator, having one of the most popular Smash streams on Japanese Twitch. When these three were picked up by Zeta Division on September 16th, it immediately put this organization in the conversation for one of the strongest in the world. But not only does this org consist of 3 amazing players, their roster is handpicked to be a recipe for success in every arena of Smash, not just strictly competition. One of the easiest ways to judge how good an org is simply by counting the number of majors they've won. This graph shows all of the top orgs throughout Ultimate's history, arranged by how many majors they've won. Slots 1 and 2 are occupied by the teams which sponsor the undisputed GOAT of Smash Ultimate, MKLeo. Slots 3 and 4 are occupied by teams sponsoring players who are both very likely top 5 all-time Smash Ultimate players. These are TSM, sponsoring Tweak, and GameWith, sponsoring Zachary. These are both players who have won majors in 5 and 4 different years respectively. 5th place is occupied by the first team with 2 or more majors on this list. But then, what makes Zeta Division so special? All of these previously mentioned organizations have one thing in common. They have been competing for several years now, giving them ample opportunity to pick up major wins. The same cannot be said for Zeta Division. Although their win rate is almost certain to slow down in the future, they have been winning majors at an unprecedented pace. They have now combined to win 5 majors in just 2.5 months. But even outside of that, Team Zeta certainly knew what they were doing when deciding which players to pick up. They might even have the most perfect roster they could have picked, given which players were still free agents at the time. To start off, we'll have to define what's important for an org like this. There are 3 categories which are very important to fulfill: competitive success, appeal to domestic audience, and appeal to international audience. While Team Zeta's players do overlap in some of these categories, they have one player who excels in each. Let's get the obvious one out of the way: competitive success. While every player on their roster is obviously very good, with 2 out of the 3 of them having already won a major, one of them stands head and shoulders above the rest: Akola. He has enjoyed perhaps the most meteoric rise to greatness of any Smash player. He immediately won both his first major and super major, as well as the first North American major he attended. Although he gained a sponsor, Flat Gaming, in record time, specifically 1 month after his first offline debut, and only 4 days after he won his first regional, it was clear that he was bound to join a larger org sooner rather than later. After all, Flat Gaming exists specifically to support up-and-coming players, allowing them to gain more exposure and find a bigger and better sponsor, and that they certainly did. At only 16 years old, Akola has ascended to Japan's undisputed #1 player. and he holds a case for the position of second best player worldwide. Not only that, some of the stats behind his competitive career are so impressive, they can only be rivaled by MKLeo. Clearly, he satisfies our first criterion. For domestic popularity, Gact is basically the perfect choice. Streaming on Twitch, he has amassed an audience of nearly 40,000 viewers. Not only is this the most of any competitive Japanese Smash Ultimate player, it also surpasses that of Japan's main channel to watch tournaments on Twitch, East Geek Smash. What's even more impressive is that he is number 21 in terms of followers of all Smash Ultimate channels, and number 11 when it comes to only Smash Ultimate competitors that stream on Twitch. Not only that, he achieved this while having a much smaller target audience of primarily Japanese speakers. Additionally, Twitch is definitely not the ubiquitous hub for Smash streaming in Japan like it is in North America and Europe. With many of Japan's top players opting to stream on YouTube instead, the audience that Gact has amassed on Twitch is even more impressive. His popularity, by and large, is thanks to not only his explosive playstyle, but also his sense of humor, which is often said to be very dry and sarcastic, most notably in his topless alter ego Meister G. For overseas popularity, there's no one who fills the role better than the man himself, T. Pac-Man, or T. Kazuya Mishima, whichever you prefer. He made himself known during the Smash 4 days, when he got third at Umabura Wii U Finals, with wins over players such as Abadango, Kameme, and Ken, and his American debut at SoCal Regionals 2018, where he showed America what Smash 4 Pac-Man could really do. His real claim to fame came with Smash Ultimate, though. He won his first major, Thunder Gaming Smash, in October 2019 over Mars. Although he initially solely used Pac-Man in tournaments, his recent decision to co-main Kazuya alongside him has given him newfound success. And somehow, although he plays two characters which are quite often disliked, he is still somehow one of the most popular players in the world. But why? Well, simply put, his two characters scratch the two itches of a regular Smash viewer. His Pac-Man is one of the most thoughtful, setup-based characters, who always manages to pull out some new trick to wow the audience. His Kazuya, on the other hand, is the total opposite. Taking the advice of every elite smasher out there, his neutral basically only consists of one move, Electric Wind Godfist. And it works. When the Kazuya is on, T fully realizes the character's zero-to-death potential, making some of the world's best look like Round 1 Pool's opponents. It also helps that he has not only found himself to be that popular in the US, but also Europe, specifically France, courtesy of his many tournament appearances and wins there. This, plus the fact that he's a crowd pleaser, most immediately obvious through his tried-and-true Kazuya Mishima pose, makes it hard for anyone to root against him. Speaking of, the regional coverage is something that's certainly crucial as well. Most orgs have one, or maybe two, of Smash's three super regions, North America, Europe, and Japan, where they can realistically win a major. But once again, Zeta Division shows the value of its roster. Their roster has already won at least one major in each of those regions, and it's not like it was a one-time thing only. Akola can regularly win Japanese tournaments, T can regularly win European events, and both T and Akola can win North American events. No matter what time zone an audience is in, it will get to see at least one of the players in a tournament most of the time. Perhaps things will change as Japan opens up to travel in 2023, as more American players have expressed desires to travel overseas than in years past, but until it actually happens, Zeta Division's ability to win tournaments across the world looks unmatched. Zeta Division's roster isn't just amazing for the org itself, bringing attention and glory to the team. It also has serious potential to help the Smash scene, and maybe even the Japanese esports scene as a whole. Teams like Zeta Division and Crazy Raccoon are slowly helping make esports more mainstream in Japan, and the success that their Smash players are enjoying on the world stage, both competitively and through their streams, can only support that goal, for esports as a whole and Smash in particular. Zeta Division has made a massive splash over the past few months, already establishing themselves as part of the top echelon of Smash Ultimate organizations. If their trajectory continues, it's only a matter of time before they will be considered number one.